All right, so we're humans. There are plenty of things that we just don't like. My dad doesn't like broccoli. I don't really like asparagus. Why is it always vegetables? But it doesn't have to always be vegetables. But the thing is, I have a theory about how yes, you can like that one thing that you absolutely detest. So here's an example. Before I turned 21, I wanted to like beer. You know, everyone always either says, I like beer, or it's piss water, I hate beer. And then there's people like me now that's like, I like the craft of beer. But I wasn't always like that. 2 years ago, about 2 weeks before I turned 21, I know, don't tell my mom, allegedly I did this. I wanted to actually like beer. So what I did was I just drank it every day for 2 weeks. And at first it was terrible. I had some like dark beers. I didn't know what I was doing. And then by the end of the second week, I liked it. And then I went to Grand Rapids, went to Founders Brewing Company, and had an awesome 21st birthday trying a bunch of different beers out in Grand Rapids. One of the best places for beer, if I might add. And you know, the thing is I wanted to like beer because it's a social thing. A lot of business deals happen after you grab a beer with a business partner, or you go out with your coworkers, grab a beer, right? That's a very nighttime oriented activity. After you've accomplished something, let's go grab a beer. Or if someone owes you something, hey, I owe you a beer. And I didn't want to be that person that would go out to the bar and be like, hey, can I get a rum and coke? You know, everyone else is drinking beer, so I wanted to like beer. And I didn't want to love it, but consequently I did end up loving it. In fact, on Untapped, I'll show you, I have quite a few unique beers. It's been almost 2 years since I turned 21, and I have 235 beers. Point is, I went from absolutely hating beer. I was like you, person out there that said that beer is piss water. I absolutely hated it. And now, after 2 weeks, I didn't mind it. And 2 full years later, I really love it. And I did the same exact thing with coffee recently. Coffee is another example of a social drink. It's not a nighttime drink. It's more of like a, hey, let's go out for coffee. Or I'm meeting a friend, let's go get some coffee and talk, right? I didn't want to go to Starbucks or meet at the local cafe and order a hot chocolate or like whatever. And I don't really like tea either. That's another good example. But coffee, it's a social drink. And on this trip, I knew that the only way I was going to get Wi-Fi really is to go to a coffee shop. And I'm not going to go into a coffee shop and just sit down without ordering anything. I'm not a freeloader, you know. It would be terrible to sit and use their power and their Wi-Fi for 10 hours at a time without buying anything. So I knew that coffee is the least expensive thing. So the same thing happened. Is at first I really hated it. It was super bitter and it just tasted gross. It did smell nice. And a few weeks before my trip, I just started trying it, right? I literally, if you don't believe me, I literally had my first coffee about a month ago. It was from Big B. It was terrible. I hated it. I got through this much. But after a while, I was patient with myself, and now I could say I like it. I don't love it. There's some coffee I've had on this trip that I actually do like a lot. I don't love it yet. And I don't want to get dependent on the caffeine, but all it took was a couple weeks of constant exposure. Call it exposure therapy, call it Stockholm Syndrome. I just call it classic conditioning. Not classical conditioning, but just conditioning of the mind and body to get used to something. So I challenge you, viewer out there that doesn't like something, try it. It doesn't even matter if you don't want to love asparagus or broccoli. Just eat it for 2 weeks. And you know, don't commit to eating a full plate of broccoli, just like one little stem, a little bit. Remember my first Big B coffee, I had this much, that much, just a little bit at a time. Be patient with yourself and get used to it. And with that, I mean, honestly, I think you could like anything. You know, that's just your body and mind have a way of adapting to its environment, and if you expose it to something on a regular basis, well, it's just eventually going to get used to it. So, also a little side note, tea, it's pretty good. I did a similar thing, but I don't really like it, but I don't hate it. So you can do anything with that. Food, drinks, the outdoors. I mean, if you don't like heights, expose yourself to being by heights. But there are some things you might not entirely get over. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. I challenge you to try it. Leave it in the comment section down below 2 weeks after today. Tell me how it went. Try something new, something that you don't like, something you think you don't like, and come back to this video and let me know how that went. I'd love to hear how that went for all of you. And thanks as always for hitting that subscribe button and hitting that like button. It's awesome that I get to share all these ideas with you and for you to share your experiences back with me. Again, leave that comment down below how the challenge went, and until next time, I'll see you later. What's up? Kyle from the future here. It's been about 3 months since I recorded that Grand Canyon video, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll let you in on a little secret. I like asparagus now. Same thing as what I described in the video. I started meal prepping chicken breast, rice, asparagus, and now I like asparagus despite what it makes my pee smell like. If you're friends with me, that's all I ever talk about is asparagus and the smell. But I like it, so obviously this process works for me. I want you to try it out. Maybe it's something that you don't like or something that you want to like, what have you. Take 2 weeks to expose yourself to it little by little and let me know how it goes. Preferably, it would be to grow personally, improve your life, change your lifestyle, what have you. I'm not picky. I just want to see how this process works for other people because I'm curious, because that's just me and how it works for me, and I want to hear how it works for you. So try something out, come back to this video, leave a comment down below, and let us all know, and I'll see you in the next one.